Welcome back. Fentanyl is targeting America's children now more than ever. First, it was candy, and now we're seeing it in children's toys. This latest bust, incredibly frightening. Here it is here, folks. Take a look. Drug enforcement agents finding 15,000 rainbow-colored fentanyl pills inside a Lego box outside the Lincoln Tunnel in Manhattan. Investigators say the multicolored pills were imprinted with an M and a 30 to resemble 30M oxycodone hydrochloride 30-milligram pills. Now, officials believe the pills came from Mexico and were going to be sold throughout New York City. These drugs have an estimated street value of $300,000. And this is the largest seizure of rainbow fentanyl in New York City. Meanwhile, we can tell you the 48-year-old New Jersey woman who was in possession of the drugs was charged with 2 counts of criminal possession of a controlled substance. Her bail set at $25,000. Well, how about this? Back in June, Colorado State Patrol seized 114 pounds of pure fentanyl. To put that in perspective of how dangerous that is, it's enough to kill 25 million people. Drug enforcement agents thought they were advancing the case because the suspect, 26-year-old David Alejandro Maldonado, agreed to cooperate with them. He agreed to help the DEA arrest the drug traffickers who were headed to South Bend, Indiana. But on his way to Indiana, Maldonado managed to lose those DEA agents, removed his tracker from his car, and he is considered tonight a fugitive. All these months later, there's been no sign of the 26-year-old. Now, a DEA official told Newsmax the drugs are in the possession of law enforcement and, quote, the DEA is relentlessly pursuing the individuals that were involved in the trafficking of the seized fentanyl and will continue to do so. Joining me now is the former director of special operations at the DEA, Derek Maltz. Good to have you with us this evening, sir.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, it's such an important story, especially with everything going on in the candy and the toys. But first, real quick, to this fugitive story, Derek, I get it. The DEA probably doesn't really want to talk too much about this case because it's so embarrassing. At a news conference in July, after this suspect has escaped, an agent said that they were, not asleep at the wheel. They were touting this bust. They failed to mention that they had lost a suspect. So, from your point of view and your perspective, knowing the agency, is the DEA doing enough to get fentanyl off our streets?
The DEA is working very closely with their partners around America every day, and they're saving thousands and thousands of lives. Look at this story up in New York you just reported on. There's one story after another. So let me say a couple things. First of all, thank God we have these warriors sacrificing for public service and public safety. And I was out in Colorado not too long ago at the conference, 300 to 400 people speaking. I was so thoroughly impressed by the law enforcement partnerships with the Colorado officials at the state and local and the federal level. Let me show you a little coin. This is an M30 coin that they made. Very innovative because they're focused as a whole of Colorado approach to destroy the cartels. This guy, Maldonado, he better be looking over his shoulder because the DEA will get him. It's just a matter of time. But you're going to understand, the DEA's focus is on the 2 major cartels that are poisoning this country at record levels and killing our kids like we've never seen.
Let's talk about that. Exactly.
And I think let me just say one thing. They took 114 pounds of fentanyl off the street. That was not part of the transaction where Maldonado got loose. So the drugs are secure in the vault, and innocent people's lives are safe.
Of course. And that's the most important thing, is that people are safe. But to tout it as, a bust and kind of hide that embarrassing part, people are, just looking at the DEA saying, they did leave out a fact that they were, a suspect is still on the loose here. Now, we want to talk about the DEA's campaign, which is called One Pill Can Kill, to increase public awareness about the dangers of fentanyl, especially that rainbow fentanyl, Derek. It is targeting children. Yeah. I mean, we have Halloween coming up. Parents want to know what can they do, outside of, policing their kids. What do you say to American families out there?
So the families have to talk to their kids. But I want to go back to one thing. At a time when America's cities are so inundated with crime, the last thing anybody in America has to do is Monday morning quarterback the brave men and women of law enforcement. Going back to One Pill Can Kill, I am very proud of DEA's efforts with their partnerships. They seized 10.2 million pills, fake pills, in this last phase of their One Pill Can Kill that was announced like last week. And remember, 40% of those pills can kill, potentially kill. Now, let's talk about another incident in Hartford, Connecticut. DEA sees 15,000 fake pills in Nerds boxes, in Skittles packaging. That was a way to deter law enforcement, to hide and conceal. Bridget Brennan in New York, I worked with her for years. She's a tremendous prosecutor. And I'm going to steal her quote. She said, "Happy colors to make deadly drugs seem fun and harmless is a new low even for the cartels." They're trying to make this stuff look cool.
Well,
but the DEA and their partners are crushing them.
What about the situation at the border? If the cartels know what they're doing, they're, China's in bed with this. They're making it. It's coming across from the cartels. Do you wish the Biden administration would do more to secure the border and maybe help the DEA so much fentanyl isn't pouring across?
Absolutely. So let me just say this. They're not even educating the public. Forget the border for a second. That's a disaster, okay? We're being invaded by 150 countries, a million gotaways.
But isn't that where the fentanyl's coming in, Mr. Maltz?
Yes, of course. Yes, from Mexico.
Hard to forget that.
No, I know. Thank you for that. The education to our kids, they're not even talking about fentanyl. They're confusing the public. The parents are doing all the work to educate the communities, putting billboards up. They have nonprofits. They're doing PSAs. But yes, the border is wide open. The cartels are taking total advantage of the wide open border. And our brave men and women on Border Patrol are doing the best that they can. And they're making significant seizures. But one thing I'll say about the seizures that are being made, everyone in America should not be saying, well, they did another 2 million, pills were seized. They should be saying how much is getting into the country, because law enforcement can't actually seize everything. That's why I'm an advocate for destroying the production labs in Mexico with or without the Mexican government, because we need to save American lives, and we have to put politics aside, because it's not a red or a blue issue. It's a red, white, and blue issue.
Absolutely. Well put there. Derek Maltz, we've got to leave it there. We're out of time, but thank you so much for joining us, sir. We appreciate your perspective.
Thank you very much.